And we are back at it again with Bullheaded. I am here with Zoo and P Bush. How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Pretty rough fantasy week. Unfortunately,
Oh,
lost to Zoo.
Hannah, but whooping,
Hey,
baby. 130, man.
I only ended up
130.
losing. I only ended up losing by 20 because Dak and CD brought me
Oh, yeah,
back to life.
they dropped like
But
50 points within like freaking 2 quarters. It was
yeah,
ridiculous.
it was tough week. Both my leagues I just got wrecked. Chargers just screwed me over this week. So I have a
Regression
lot of
to
stock
the
there.
mean, man. When you
Yep.
drop 180 the week before, that's as high as you go in fantasy football. When I
And
say
you regress.
it's as close to life, man. Those ups and downs of fantasy football, man. It is a
Agreed.
roller coaster ride, man. It's a roller coaster ride.
Zoo, we got NBA right now, so kind of shifting gears there. We got two good leagues going now at this point.
Oh,
No
yeah.
hate on the MLB, but we are big NBA, NFL guys, as we always reiterate on this podcast. So I'm pumped for NBA season. I think that's what we're going to be diving into today. So
yeah, quick shout out to the Braves. I think they're up on the Dodgers right now. Don't have any skin in the game in terms of teams, but I got a lot of friends who are Braves fans, so I hope they pull it out and get onto the progression, get to the World Series. But like people said, man, it's a lot of NBA. It's opening night right now. The Bucks and the Nets are kind of making it a game now. At first, the Bucks were kind of blowing them out, but now it's starting to become a little bit more tighter. Those are two teams in the Eastern Conference that are going to be competing for that crown in the Eastern Conference. So I wanted to ask the guys, just starting off with the conferences, a couple of teams that they have their eyes on in terms of teams that can maybe be a dark horse, the favorites, things of that nature. And P-Bush, I'm going to start with you, man.
All right, well, I'm going to start in the Eastern Conference because I think the West is so stacked that it's going to be tough to, I think, predict, a winner right off the bat. But, I mean, everybody knows we got the two guys playing right now, Nets and Bucks. I think those are going to be my top two teams in the East. As the season progresses, the Kyrie situation, we got the Bucks here losing. PJ Tucker was probably one of their bigger losses year over year. And I think they're going to, flip-flop throughout the year at that 1-2 spot as long as both of them can stay healthy. But there's a team that I'm eyeing this year. I'm back on it with 1 year off, but I'm back in the Miami Heat, man. I think they're going to be a top three team in the East this year. I think they have one of the best 7-man rotations in the NBA, especially with the addition of Lowry. It really takes a lot of pressure off Tyler Hero. Now he can come off the bench. He's honestly, I think, a sixth man contender this year, up there with the Jordan Clarksons and Patty Mills of the league. But yeah, I really like the Heat. I think, Lowry has championship experience. Jimmy Butler has championship experience. Bam's taken another step. He's arguably one of the best big men you can have on your team to help facilitate that offense. And then they have two snipers on their team with arguably one of the best snipers in the league in Duncan Robinson. They added an elite defender in PJ Tucker. And they got a great wing guy with Markieff Morris, who, once again, also has some playoff experience. So this team, for me, not saying they're going to come out of the East. I think that, the Bucks and the Heat and the Nets they're too star-powered. Giannis is just, I don't know how the Heat would stop Giannis. I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of Eastern Conference teams to come into this season. How are we going to stop Durant and how are we going to stop Giannis? If they really want to make a push in the playoffs, that's what teams have to decide. And I think that the Heat can just come at you with so many different directions that's going to be their winning mentality and their winning strategy to take out one of those two teams. So that's my sleeper for the East. I don't think that they're going to be, bottom six or, 6th seed or under this year. I do have them finishing with the 3rd seed in the East this year.
So the Miami Heat bandwagon, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You're back on it. You believe in Kyle Lowry's fat ass?
I believe him as a complimentary
He's
player.
in shape, man. Don't do that, man. He's in shape. He just looks away.
not for an NBA player, but man, for me, my sleeper, man, is my Chicago Bulls, baby.
I didn't know that was coming.
I am so hyped this year. Yeah, I don't know. People were hating on the Bulls' moves this year. I don't know why. We overpaid for DeMar DeRozan. Oh, whatever. We got an all-star. It takes picks to get an all-star, man. I don't hate DeRozan. I just say he get his butt whooped by LeBron every time, but he ain't got no play no LeBron James in the East anymore. Dude, the East is wide open, man.
Agreed.
The Brooklyn Nets without one of their best players, Kyrie Irving. I don't even know if he's going to play this year. So they got KD, James Harden. KD's injury prone. And James Harden's a beast. He usually is a tank. Last year he got fat and out of shape to get his ass out of Houston. So, okay, KD and Harden. I think that's going to be the top of the East. Two superstar guys. The Milwaukee Bucks, I don't buy them, man. Giannis is a superstar. Chris Middleton's an and Drew Holiday's another They got it done because the injury guys were on their favor. They maximized, they took advantage, and they got it done. I don't fear them at all. But you look at the Chicago Bulls roster, talent-wise. Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, Nikola. Come on, man. We got three All-Stars, baby. We got 3 All-Stars. Lonzo Ball's an up-and-coming young star. And our defense, no. It don't look that bad in the preseason, man.
That's the key.
If they could get their defense down with all this switching and the young guys using athleticism, if they could get their defense up offensively, I think they're going to be a top 10 offense this year, just based on personnel. I think their starting lineup is probably a top 3 or 4 in the East. And I feel like they could easily be a top 4 seed. I'm predicting fourth seed this year, man. 4th seed this year, and the Vegas odds got them a little down there. They got them like in the play-in tournament, man. Dude, if they make it to the play-in tournament, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. We did not give DeMar DeRozan $26 million to be in the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
Play-in tournaments? Play-in tournament? We got 3 All-Stars, man. We got 3 All-Stars. Like, what other team in the East can you say you got 3 All-Stars?
Well, does the play-in tournament include? That's 7, 8, 9,
7 through 10. Yeah,
7
through 10 now.
So if they got a 7th seed, I'm gonna say that's a disappointment. I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give a D as a season review. If they finish a 7th seed with all that talent, come on now. The East is wide open.
All right, let me pose this then. So you're saying that the Bulls are pretty much moving from out of the playoff picture to into the top 5. You're saying guaranteed no play-in. Let's just say not guaranteed, but that's what your hope is. Yeah, that means you have to move one of the guys down into the play-in tournament from last year. Is that going to be the Hawks, the Celtics, or the Sixers?
Yes. Dude, first of all, I don't buy the Hawks, man. I don't buy the Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks were a cute team that, I don't know, the 76ers just shit the bed last year, man. They
I agree with that.
I agree with that. So bad. Like, they were
we all know why.
A golden opportunity. We all know why. That guy's being a bum right now for the Sixers. Getting kicked out of practice for not trying to be a team guy. Like, if I was a Sixers, I don't want to associate with Ben Simmons at all, man. Dude looking selfish as hell right now.
Yep.
Even though you try to demand a trade, you got to do it with some class. Like, I feel like even Matisse Thybulle, one of the nicest guys in the room, is not feeling Ben Simmons anymore. So, no, that's what, like, the Sixers got – the Atlanta Hawks beat the Sixers, okay? And that was a miracle. A miracle. And I don't believe in multiple miracles. That's why it's called a miracle. It happens once in a generation for the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young is a bona fide superstar. The rest of that roster is average. And I might even say, no, dude, John Collins, that's a cute player. Whatever. Kevin Huerter.
Did he get a max? I can't remember.
Nah, he got close to the max, but he got a bag, man. He got a bag, and after year 3, they're going to be regretting that bag. Kevin Huerter, he got paid. Good for him. The Red Rocket man, 6-man type of dude. He even got in the starting lineup, dropping 3 balls. You look at that roster. It's super young. They overachieve. And you know my favorite saying, regression to the mean. Last year, they had one of their greatest seasons ever. Nate McMillan, I think he should have been coach of the – actually, Thibodeau, Nate McMillan, they were 1A, 1B for coach of the year. But what he has done by turning over that franchise from Lloyd Pierce to Nate McMillan, that was the biggest pivot.
Team USA coach Lloyd Pierce.
Yeah, I don't know why Team USA hired such a mediocre,
I put that on his gravestone,
man. I don't know how he made Team USA. Even got actually, no, he didn't even get a gold medal. He doesn't deserve a gold medal. Lloyd Pierce, what a joke. When Nate McMillan, shout outs to him. He is a hell of a coach. But that roster overachieved, and they're not going to overachieve again. And I'm going to say the same thing about the New York Knicks. They overachieved last year. They are on pace last year to win 47 games. 47 games in an 82-game record. Nah. Like Julius Randle, we know what Julius Randle is. We saw him in the playoffs, man. A scrubby dubby, man. He's a regular season dude that just gets buckets like 24 and 12. Like, he put up some all-NBA numbers. All-NBA. But in the playoffs, he's irrelevant. And I feel like he's going to regress, too. He just played extremely well under Tibbs and got a bag, too. Shout out to Julius Randle for getting a bag. But these teams, I don't believe in any of them. Like, you look at these, I don't believe any of these teams.
You don't. What? All right. You talked about the Hawks. Talk about the Knicks. I agree, Zoo. I have the Knicks coming in at around the 8th seed. I think they're going to, hanging around with the Pacers, the Raptors, the Wizards. Those are kind of the teams that are probably at the
They're
lowest.
fighting for the playing tournament. They're fighting for the playing tournament.
But my team that I have dropping to the 7th is actually the Sixers. I have the Sixers making the play-in tournament this year, and that purely has to do with team chemistry, man. I mean, I just think that there's too much going on in that locker room. Does Doc Rivers actually have a handle on his team when he has to throw a guy out at practice and suspends him for a game? I mean, for me, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's going to ruin their entire season. Maybe they get it sorted out. They get, ship Simmons off, do something with him. God knows what's going to happen there. I feel like it's a new report every week, and he surprised me by going to practice. He honestly surprised. He showed up.
He wants to get paid, man.
And he wants to get paid.
Like $1 million,
of course.
Man.
But look, the man clearly can't keep his cool or keep his ego in check. I think that is almost as detrimental to a locker room as losing a starting player to an injury, because it's pretty much one and the same. You don't have one of your, and we can all say this, Ben Simmons is extremely talented at basketball. He can't shoot the ball, but in almost every other aspect, he's a damn good world-class player. Losing that on your team is crucial, especially when your second star is a big man. And Zoo, you're all about that. If you have a stud big man, you need to have a stud all-star point guard playing alongside.
You need a guy to get him the ball.
You gonna rely on Tobias Harris to hit that game-winning clutch three?
You know my feelings about Tobias Harris.
Look,
he's a fraudulent max player, man.
He's a good player, and he's a guy. He's a guy that you want on your team. But can you rely on him?
Yeah,
probably
not. Number 2.
If the Bulls paid that brother $35 million, I'm cutting his ass, man. I'm out.
Exactly. To me, he's a worse version of like a Chris Middleton. We saw Chris Middleton hitting big shots in the playoffs for the Milwaukee Bucks, even when we had scrutinized him a ton throughout the regular season and the playoffs for not having big games. But when he needed it, or when his team needed it, he stepped up the most. Yeah. So for me, the Sixers, they're in just an absolute shitstorm right now. Just as a team, as an organization, they need to figure this out earlier rather than later, because by the time Christmas rolls around, most teams are going to be pretty solidified in how they're going to be approaching the rest of that season. Jamal Murray might be back at that point. Klay Thompson might be back at that point. All the teams that have some questions, Kyrie even, maybe he'll come around and actually play. By that point, they need to have something set there in Philly. So I got them dropping.
They need a trade.
They need a trade.
They need a trade. I think this Daryl Morey, that's what it is. He's the type of GM, he wants to win the trade, and he's not going to trade Ben Simmons until he feels like he wins the trade. So it's like, I don't even know. Loss. Yeah, I like you say, if they don't trade him and he's acting like this the entire time, then the plan is a huge, I would put a lot of money on them getting in the play-in or being in the play-in, because I don't even see a situation where you can play Ben Simmons right now. Like you say, I don't even get what Philly's trying to do, because it's like, okay, Doc, I understand everybody watched the playoffs. We all saw Ben didn't shoot in the fourth and did that stuff, but we can say that because we're not on the team. The Sixers organization had these quotes coming out saying he was thinking about trying to get COVID or whatever for one of the games, and then Doc Rivers says what he says after the game, and then Joel Embiid kind of answered. They got baited and answered those questions. So then it's like you say, I don't think Ben is handling it right because he's a professional, but it's like, dude, I wouldn't want to go back either. You can't say that during the playoffs and then, okay, now you need to come back and let's make this work. No, get me out of here. But it's like, if they had their GM before that, Ben probably would have been out here for, let's just say, CJ or whoever, just to get the chemistry right. But with Daryl, he's got to win that trade, man. So I don't know when he's going to get traded, which is going to just have a lot of lingering effects on the team.
No hate on Philly, man, but they have a lot of egos flying around. Not eagles, egos flying around that city. Sorry, needed to clarify for the only one city that would have affected it. Yeah. But look, man, if your GM and one of your best players is coming out with the ego that they have, I mean, as a fan, if I was a Philly fan, oh my God, I'd rather be dead in the water as a team than having to deal with, are we going to be good? The process is failed.
Process is over.
I agree.
It's over. Malfunction.
It's halted, man. Malfunctioned, absolutely. But look, man, I think there's a couple teams, I think the Celtics have some questions too. So, Zoo, I did want to ask you about them, because I was looking at their roster, man, and besides Schroeder, Cantor, Horford, and then their two studs, they have nobody else on that team.
Pritchard.
Okay, sure. But
apparently he scored all those points in some Oregon Summer League, so...
True. Yeah. But it's gonna put so much weight on Jalen and Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, do you see them? I have them at the 6th seed, Bulls at 5th, and I do have the Hawks at 4. I know you don't agree with that, Zoo, but where do you have the Celtics? Because I wanted to ask you about that one.
Yeah, Celtics, man. Dude, the new head coach is interesting, man. Because like with Brad Stevens out, Udoka, he got work cut out for himself now because they got rid of Kemba Walker because that dude's a Band-Aid, right? So they got rid of the Band-Aid and got Dennis Schroeder, the biggest, the loser of free agency. Yeah. He's gonna try to get numbers because he's making like $5 million right now. So he's trying to get pretty much a contract extension, trying to get paid.
Could have made 17.
So I feel like he might play a little more selfish this year, try to get his points, man. Just getting those buckets. And he's not a traditional point guard, more of a scoring guard. But he's actually a decent defender. But if you look at the roster, it's okay, man. I see them winning like 44, 45 wins. Okay. They're a nice little respectable team, but ain't no title team, man.
No,
ain't even close. I see them like right below the Chicago Bulls. Like, obviously, Jason Tatum. I love Jason Tatum's game, man.
He's the
Jason
man.
Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like, that is still a dynamic duo. Like, you got 2 all-star caliber wings. But then you look at the new head coach. He has to integrate all the new pieces, man, because all these guys, they let Fournier go. They got rid of Kemba Walker. They're integrating Al Horford again. That dude, Al Horford, he had his prime with the Celtics, and they're trying to revitalize Al Horford after sitting out in OKC on the bench for the entire year. So this guy gonna be rusty, man. So maybe Al Horford try to increase their defense because last year they're pretty bad. And I don't know, like the roster. Not that interested. Like, I feel like in the future, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they might be getting their butts out of there, man.
I think so.
Out of Beantown.
That's what I was going to say.
I think Tatum would be the only one, maybe.
Yeah.
Brown seems like he's just more entrenched with because I actually follow him on social media because I was like a lot of his stuff that he does, initiatives and stuff. He seems more entrenched with Boston. Tatum, I could see a guy being that would leave. I really do think with Boston, though, they're more of a wild card. I could see them being anywhere from 6 to 3. Just because Tatum, if he gets unleashed and maybe the new coach has a thing where Tatum has the ball more and he's maybe more of a playmaker. Because I just think the sky's like Tatum, he has a chance to be a top 3 in the East player, maybe even top 2. Because he's got everything he wants skill set wise. He's got everything.
Then, bro, he'd only be 3rd on the Nets by themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's
Kyrie. I'll put him ahead of Kyrie.
I put him ahead of Kyrie. He ain't ahead of James or KD. But Giannis, I think he's won the title, and I think, like you said, Zeus said with the injury gods, I think that's a big factor. But I also think Giannis kind of
he dropped the 50 piece, man. He dropped
his jumper's looking kind of
nice. His jumper looking nice, man.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks a lot more smooth now. Like it actually looks like a real shot. Like his initial shot looked like a Charles Barkley like golf swing when he tries to shoot a 3-pointer.
And his free throws look a whole lot better this year too.
It's like smooth. It's like more of a one motion shot instead of being like a wind back type shot, which was disgusting to watch, man. Exactly, it was disgusting, and that's crazy, man. This guy wins a championship, goes in the gym, and tries to improve his game.
Pressure's off,
And if Giannis get a mid range, oh my,
lights out.
Oh,
3 out of 4 MVP.
Yeah, he doesn't need a 3. If he gets a mid-range, pull-up mid-range game, oh, Jesus.
No, he'll be winning his 3rd MVP in 4 years. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, easily. Because they'll run the table. Yeah, in the East.
And that's pushing a little Jordan legend right there. Putting that many MVPs up in that short of a time span. Whew, he's dominant, man. He's dominant.
You can dominate the East because, like, outside of Brooklyn, nobody's scary.
Dude, it's so I feel like the East outside, like, and we're about to talk about the West. I feel like I do agree with you, Zoo. It's a little bit more wide open than people think because of Kyrie. Mm-hmm. And I also think
Atlanta Hawks made the Eastern Conference Finals. That's why I know it's wide open. Atlanta Hawks were out of the playoffs after half the games were played. They were out of the playoffs.
But you talk about Atlanta. You talk about Atlanta. They did that without one of their best defenders and their second best player, DeAndre Hunter. And Cam Reddish is another guy that's coming up. That's why Atlanta has a lot of – they're more variants like Boston. Like, they have a lot more variants because Cam Reddish looked really good in preseason. He was a – if you go ask a lot –
that dude's the most efficient player ever. The brother shoots 30% from the field, man. I'm out on Cam Reddish.
I got to find a video. I got to find a video.
30% from the field, man. He shot 30% from Duke in college.
But college is different. Everybody shoots bad in college because there's no spacing in college. Everybody shoots bad. Unless you're Jimmer Fredette shot great in college. He didn't do nothing in the NBA. It doesn't matter if you shoot. Like, Jason Tatum didn't shoot that well in college, and he's a good shooter in the NBA. I think Cam Reddish has got opportunity. But it's funny. There's a video I watched of Anthony Edwards and like a bunch of like those guys when they're in like AAU tournaments. and they all were like talking like who's their hardest person to guard and who they think will be the best NBA player. And they said Cam Reddish. They just said he needs opportunity.
Okay, pop quiz.
So I think he had.
What is his field goal? What was his field goal percentage last year?
I don't know. He didn't get enough opportunity to play.
Pat, your guess is 44. What's yours, Sean?
I don't know. 40.
He shot a lot of
36 and a half, man. He shot 10 times a game. That is high.
That's a lot.
Volume, man. It's not like off 2 shots. He's shooting 10 times a game,
Zoo.
and he's bricking 6 of them.
Zoo, don't forget half that time was under Lloyd Pierce, Team USA basketball coach, though. So you can't blame him. Maybe the offense wasn't
working. He shot
working.
26% from 3. What?
Nobody's saying he's going to be their best player. It's more about depth.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think he'll be better than like.
He needs to be in the 7-man rotation. Yeah. Will he be the 6th or 7th in rotation? Probably. That's like saying PJ Tucker is going to completely change the Miami Heat. No, but he's going to do it in little ways here and there. That's all they need.
At least PJ can shoot threes, man. This guy's like.
No, he looked pretty bad last year.
G and no 3, man.
He was not. But
he was more of a D guy. But yeah,
I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about the West, because this is tough, man. I mean, you want to talk about injuries? The most of the teams were injured on the West side last year. Mm-hmm. So, and the only team, Andy, I really don't think that you can say that the Bucks championship was due to injuries, because they played the healthiest team in the West in the Phoenix Suns. Now the Suns got to the
when
finals.
They made the finals. Yeah, when they made the finals, like they deserved the trophy.
But
that Brooklyn team was not Brooklyn.
I agree. They would have lost to Brooklyn 100%. But my point is, so
1.5 stars, man. 1.5 stars.
Do you think Phoenix is a fluke?
Yes, absolutely, man.
Really?
Chris Paul had a renaissance season. DeAndre Ayton was playing like a freaking all NBA caliber center. Like in the
20
playoffs.
and 10 last year.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
in the playoffs, was putting those numbers up, but in the regular season, he was pretty average. They had to like adjust his game from being more of a dominant guy to be more of a passive guy. Obviously, with Chris Paul dominating the basketball, and he's more of a lob threat and a defensive player. But like, you look at the roster, it's the same exact team, except DeAndre Ayton didn't get paid, and he's a little pissed off about that. So maybe a little extra motivation trying to get some more numbers to prove that. Give me that Michael Porter Jr. contract. Give me that $170 million contract, man. He wants to get paid. But outside of that, like everybody's returning. Pretty much the same exact team. And you think that Lakers team gonna lose again? To that?
They are the most volatile team in the West, I think.
Facts. I
maybe besides the Blazers.
LeBron's not a super team again.
Yes, exactly. He has pretty much that.
Russ is an all-star. AD is an all-star. It's a super team.
No, absolutely. But what, they have nobody younger than what?
It's all about health with the Lakers, bro.
It's all health, man. It's all health. Can they?
They're healthy. You're right.
Last year they were injured because of the bubble expansion, and that's why the small layover, deep run, they got injured. Makes sense. This year they had a longer layoff. Like LeBron and AD, it's like the longest layoff ever. Definitely LeBron James' longest layoff ever, because the dude makes the playoffs every single year.
AD will still get injured.
AD,
and you know that. You know
every
that.
Year.
You know
he is injury prone, but I feel like
he's
this long layoff that they had.
Man.
This long layoff that they had.
Maybe worse.
LeBron is on a super team, and every time LeBron plays with another Hall of Fame caliber player, he helps him win a ring.
That's true. Except
this will be. I will say this. This will be his. Like I would say his what they call a swan song. Like if he gets this done, because I tell you what, Russell
he's gonna help Melo get a ring. He's gonna help Westbrook get a ring.
That's the big factor right there.
That's what he's gonna do, man. This is what he does, man. One. Yeah. Dwight another one. Like he just helps these stars that haven't gotten one and be like, bro, just play with me and I'll get you a ring. That's what he did for AD. That's what he did. You guys are gonna laugh at That's what he did for Kyrie. Like that's what he does. So
that's what D-Wade did for him.
You guys are gonna laugh at that. No, he did help. That
D-Wade did for him, man. D-Wade did for him. The dude was on 2 bad knees for half the time playing in Miami, man.
D-Wade wasn't the best player, but he did help LeBron win that ring.
He had the championship experience, man.
Yeah, and LeBron needed that. Now after that, he kind of.
Now after that, he carried Wade to a couple more.
Oh, he carried his bum ass knees.
Yeah, he did carry.
Dude was injured every year, man.
But do you know who was
his ass because his knees are so bad.
But do you know who was meeting LeBron at that gate? Dwayne Wade, old man with torch, man. That's literally what he was handing him. That's what he was handing him down in Miami back in 2010. Sorry, 11-12, not 10-11.
Yeah.
Wrong season.
I have to say this. You guys are going to laugh at me, but I think the key to because I do think age is going to play a factor with the Lakers in terms of if they're going to be able to get through the West or not. But I think their biggest factor to where maybe when it comes playoff time is going to be Talen Horton-Tucker. I think it's going to be him, dude. I'm telling you, dude. If he, they paid him.
Playoffs,
they paid him like he's going to be a guy that's going to be in their major rotation, not just some guy that's an 8th or 9th guy. No, he's going to be more important in the playoffs than Russell Westbrook. I'm telling you right now,
bro. What are you
telling
talking
you right
about?
now.
Do you know what this sounds like, man?
Pass me what you're smoking, Sean.
You sounded like you're talking about the Jets again, where you were like they were your sleeper team with Taylor Horton-Tucker. That's exactly what it sounds like, man. This is some deja vu, man. Taylor Horton-Tucker.
I would say Zach Wilson is better.
Dude, I'll give you after 20 games, we'll not be calling about.
Well, he's not. He's hurt right now. He's hurt right now.
I'm just saying, whenever he plays, he will.
They paid him. They paid him like 4 years, $40 million.
Sean, I agreed with you up until the Russell Westbrook point. I agreed with you up until the Russ point. He's not going to be.
I don't think Russ is going to be
Russ. You know,
they have to get all on LeBron again.
And it's always on LeBron, but I'm talking about his supporting because, like you say, AD is always hurt. He's probably not going to be hurt in the playoffs, but we know what AD can do because he's won a ring. Russell, he has to be the third option. I think he's played with a bunch of superstars and it has not worked out because a lot of superstars haven't been LeBron, and I think LeBron has a type of presence where players that come play with LeBron are always going to kind of get in line. Now, that doesn't all mean it's going to work, but I just think in terms of defensively and another scoring threat, because one thing we know about Russell Westbrook is, yes, he can do all this stuff. He can get to the rim. But when it comes to playoff time, you got to be able to play D, which he's not a good defensive player, and he can't shoot. And Talen Horton has shown that he can do both of those things. So if he comes up and becomes a guy that can be he's not going to be the third option.
Talen Horton is going to be the new Caruso, the young guy that LeBron loves.
Now, I will say Caruso.
He does. He's taking him to boxes.
I think Caruso. I would take Caruso.
I love Caruso, right? I like what I see from Caruso right
Absolutely.
now. He's looking real nice.
Because he's a heck of a defensive player, and he's always in the right spot. That's one thing Caruso, and that's what THC they need from him. They need him to guard guys on the wing. Like, say, for instance, if they do get to the finals and play Brooklyn, who's going to guard James Harden? THC's probably going to be that guy because it won't be Russell, and it's not going to be LeBron. And if you cut off the head with James Harden, if THT is guarding and knocking up James Harden, then you can play the odds with KD. And then who knows if Kyrie comes back? I just feel like he's a guy that's – I won't say he's going to be better than Russell Westbrook, but he's going to be a huge factor. They paid him like he's going to be a guy, and they had to pick between Caruso and THT, and they picked. Probably because
they took youth,
right?
They took
Caruso's. I like him.
They actually might regret that. They might.
I agree. They paid him more.
Yeah, they paid him $1 million
and Caruso was
more.
I'm going to call just Caruso. He was proven, on that team.
Yeah, Caruso.
They're taking a risk.
He plays the game the right way. It's like he's always in the right spot. He's good defensively. He shoots the ball.
He's a better Ronnie
and he's a secondary ball handler. Like. He's a guy on the Bulls that I think will be a huge X factor outside.
He'll be in the closing lineup, baby.
I think so too.
I think him and Lonzo will be. Yeah. I mean, they played together. I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they were LA children, man.
Yeah, they were young. Together. I don't know if Caruso was playing a lot, but yeah, they were there on the same team, so they probably already got that connection. But
I don't know. I think about the No, go ahead, Sean. No, you.
I was just about to go to another team. Like I was going to go to the Nuggets.
One thing I really want to see this dynamic is Michael Porter Jr. got paid. Jamal, I don't know when he's coming back.
Mid-season,
but probably. I really want to see
because ACL injury.
Yeah.
So I think we all know Jokic is like the number one guy on that team. Of course. But it's going to be interesting if Michael Porter Jr. gets off to like a huge start, and then Jamal Murray comes back and he's like, "Nah,
they got an
option." Yeah. I want to see how that works. I want to see how that works.
MPJ, I feel like he might hit 25 points a game without Jamal Murray. Yeah, 25 a game. He got paid offensively. He has all the skills. Size, man. One of the best pure shooters. Like he's a 6'10" shooting guard. That's what he is. He's a 6'10" shooting guard, one of the best 3-point strokes in the game, man. High efficiency player. Like his efficiency, surprisingly, like, he's a very efficient basketball player, even though he takes contested 3-pointers like it's his job. So, like Michael Porter Jr., man, light-skinned KD. The guy should have been a Chicago Bull, but we took Wendell Carter. Don't know why. Still haven't recovered from that. But Michael Porter Jr., Michael Porter Jr. is
Wendell.
the real deal, and him and Jokic, man, that is a hell of a big combination. But the light-skinned KD, man, he might average 25, 7 rebounds a game, man. Not going to do much passing. He's not a passer. He's a bucket getter. He's a bucket.
They need Jamal if they want to win.
Oh,
let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. They need a lead guard.
And let's be honest here. I think that if there's a team at full strength in the West that could challenge the Lakers, I'd put the Nuggets up there with them. That's maybe one of two teams. I don't. Let's be honest. I don't trust the Jazz. We all know they're a regular season team.
I told you, man. Atlanta Hawks of the East, man.
The Suns.
It might be worse, bro. It's D Mitchell a bust. I hate Rudy. I don't hate Rudy Gobert, but I don't like.
You say D Mitchell's a bust? Stop it, man.
No, I said it's either D Mitchell or bust for them.
Oh, D Mitchell or bust.
Yeah, because I don't. Their second guy is Rudy.
Rudy Gobert ain't no offensive option.
He's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year, though. I think we can all agree on that award. So moving on. No, but dude, look at the Suns, man. It'd be Zoo calls it possible fluke. Right? Maybe not returning. They'll make the playoffs. They'll be a top 5 seed.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs.
But will they get to the conference finals? I don't think so.
And CP3 injury history.
Sure, exactly. And then you move on. I'd say the only other team that I would put up there with them is the Clippers. I think the Clippers will always have a chance.
Kawhi's gonna be out. Then
he might. That's true. Come back. He might.
That's true.
He might come back, but. You bet on Kawhi Leonard coming back early?
No,
Stop
I wouldn't.
Kawhi Leonard never comes back early from injury. So I feel like he might sit the year, so they're irrelevant.
So then it's really if either the Suns stay hot, right?
Nuggets.
Or the Nuggets at full strength. And then you could toss in, some people might toss in the Warriors when Clay comes back. I mean, that is a huge addition.
Yeah.
Back to
That's a huge
team.
addition, but the dude's coming off 2 catastrophic.
I know.
Like, dudes they're gone, man.
He might not be the same defensive player, but he might still be able to shoot pretty well.
Oh,
I don't think he'll be able to lock up because I think that was his
a good
thing
defender
before he got hurt. Yeah, before he got hurt, he locked up the best guy on the other side.
So and the Mavs don't have the help. Luka doesn't.
The Mavs, dude. You know what's weird? I've been getting a lot of just watching stuff and listening to different parts. A lot of people are high on the Mavs, and I don't understand why. To me, it's Luka. It's the same thing with Utah. I feel like they're Luka a bust. I don't know who they added. Everybody's like, oh yeah,
they didn't add anybody.
They re-signed Tim Hardaway. That's all they did.
Okay, he actually played well for him, but if
they did get rid of. What about KP?
If KP doesn't do anything and he's not a legit second option, I mean, what can you?
I feel like Jason Kidd might use Kristaps in a different use case because in Rick Carlisle's offense, he just got turned into Ryan Anderson, just sitting in the corner jacking up.
Ryan Anderson,
pretty much. He just
wow, that's a name.
He just sat in the corner and shot
on the Pelicans.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, he sniped.
He got paid by them too, but that's legit all he did. So if they use Kristaps in more creative ways. Because I still remember in the bubble a couple of years ago, he looked incredible in the bubble. He looked incredible. I want that Kristaps. Then they have a shot. But outside of that, all they did was re-sign Tim Hardaway on a contract that he's overpaid for, but they had to because they got to keep their 2 guard. And he actually did well in the playoffs. He had those nice games. It was like every 2 games he gives you a nice little 20-point performance. And they got rid of that scrub named Josh Richardson, who was one of the worst basketball players I've ever seen in my entire life on offense, man. Guy is so atrocious, man. So atrocious. Do you know who they get used? Seth Curry, man. Seth Curry.
They should have kept him. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand that trade when they made that.
It was a fleece, that's why.
So I don't know who the Nuggets probably the only
Denver
team
Nuggets,
that can challenge.
But that thing has a massive asterisk with Jamal Murray coming back from a catastrophic injury. I'm just saying all these things are coming. The Suns are probably the healthiest team right now, but all the other teams in the West coming off catastrophic injury with the Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. True. So I feel like this is the Lakers' year. The stars are aligning for another title run, and I feel like if they make it, they're gonna get it done.
Who do you think finishes? Who do you think finishes higher out of these 3 teams? Portland, New Orleans, or Memphis?
New Orleans out. Zion. I hate to say this, man, but he's a Band-Aid.
Injury prone,
dude's a Band-Aid. Dude's got a broken foot already. He's always injured. I saw him in a press conference. He looks fat, man. He put 20 pounds of fat on him, man.
I tried to tell you, man.
Dude, this injury history. No, when he plays,
he's a beast.
He's amazing.
He's a 6'6" Shaq. He's 6'6" Shaq.
He's putting up 27 on 17 shots a game. Are you kidding?
Super efficient.
60%, legit.
He could be the leading
modern
scorer.
day Shaq. He's a modern day Shaq with guard skills, man. He's a modern day Shaq with guard skill. So when he plays, he's absolutely a superstar. But man, these injuries, man, it's bad. Like, and they got a new coach again, man. David Griffin, that guy sucks at his job. Like he sucks.
He had LeBron James that parlayed that into a great job with New Orleans.
That's what happened. And now,
which is good for him because it got him. I don't know how long he's been with New Orleans, but it got him.
Shout out to David Griffin though for giving the Bulls Alonzo Ball.
Yeah,
but outside of that, man,
Memphis.
Memphis.
With Memphis.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with too. I like Jaren Jackson a lot.
Yeah,
I think
they gave Jaren Jackson $100 million. Yeah, he got paid. Ja Morant playing like a superstar, and in the playoffs, oh my lord, 30 points in the playoffs. Man. Jesus, it's crazy, man.
He looks like D Rose a little bit.
Dude, he's a skinny D Rose, man. That's what he is. He's a skinny D Rose. Facts. But the way he goes for dunks, trying to dunk on everybody, man,
it's a little scary.
It is a little scary. The way he lands, I'm like, ooh, let's take it easy. Let's teach him how to land correctly. I don't want no D Rose ACL injuries happen.
It's like Lamar going for insane runs and getting hit by quarterbacks, man. It's the same feeling as when Ja goes up for a dunk, man. Because he tries to poster everybody.
He
does it, and then he just brushes it off, and I'm like, one of these times, man. I just hope it doesn't happen.
I think Ja's ascension is going to be pretty well known this year. I also like Dylan Brooks, and their team is kind of lightweight deep. Like a lot of their players are kind of like the late first round, second round guys that are like they play their role. So I think that's part of Memphis DNA, and they always play pretty decent defense regardless of the coach. So I think that's a team that's going to be fighting in that, maybe top of the play-in, maybe 6th seed. Portland's interesting just because of Dame, but we don't know. I feel like it's the same thing, same song.
Same story,
two
guard, team,
2 6'3" guards. Yeah,
they haven't done anything.
Yeah,
we talk about this all the time, man.
Their 3 best players are under 6'4".
Basically, yeah.
Like
that's not a recipe for. Yeah,
they have a 3-guard lineup. Like it's just too hard to do, man. Like it's just too hard.
You know who they need? They need to bring Jason Tatum there.
That would be nice.
Too bad they never make trades, man. Like, their off-season moves are.
They have to do it.
You know their big signings are Tony Snell. Tony Snell. That was one of their major
seriously,
signings,
dude.
Tony
since he's been on the Bulls.
Snelly cat, man. That was one of their biggest signings, man. It's just a joke, man. This is a joke franchise. Never gets big.
I think if they come out the gate and they're like, I don't know, in the first 20 games, like 5-15 or something like that, then we'll start seeing maybe the bend to Portland and stuff start getting ramped up, because then Dame might be like, it's over. And like I said, Dame with Embiid, my God, like that would be a nice. That would just throw the whole Eastern Conference on top of his head, because I don't care what's going on in the East at that moment. Brooklyn or Milwaukee can be undefeated. If Dame gets traded to Philadelphia, that's going to change everything.
With Seth Curry there too.
Dame's never played with a guy like that.
It would fit.
They'd probably ask for Seth, to be honest.
Yeah. They're gonna ask for a lot. But if he goes there, man,
I'll give him Tobias. I don't know about Seth.
Yeah, they got Matisse Thybulle, who is probably the best wing defender in the NBA right now. Like, he could compensate, have Dame guard obviously the bum, and have Matisse Thybulle guard like pretty much in the Klay Thompson defensive role, guard all the quick little point guards, because that dude could defend. So I feel like the fit is just so perfect. But let's see if Daryl Morey can pull it off, man. Daryl Morey pulled it off once, getting James Harden. Let's see if he can get Dame Dollar, man.
That's another need. You just brought that up. So with the whole Kyrie thing happening and all that stuff, and we don't know if he's going to come back or if he's going to just really stay not playing. But James Harden didn't sign his extension, so I wonder if he's going to play the field. It would not. If, Brooklyn doesn't win it this year. Like you said, if I had to put money on it, I would not say he leaves Brooklyn. But it would be interesting if he
that is
Philly
very interesting.
And came and played with Embiid, and then it's like, okay, Simmons. I mean, at that point,
they could probably, because James Harden in our interview was asked about like being a free agent and why he has to send an extension, and he said that in his entire career he's never been a free agent, and he wants to test the waters and have full control over his destiny without like listening to a team and just signing contract extension. So it is actually a possibility that the Nets don't get it done in the whole Kyrie situation, him not playing, like in flux of the next couple of years, like that drama going around. It could be really bad for Brooklyn. If he leaves, maybe KD demands a trade. I don't know. That thing that
Where
the
would
freaking
KD go?
Titanic because
Yeah.
all their picks are gone.
Yeah.
They went all in, and oh no,
You
man,
know, I
this
heard
James
somebody-
Harden situation, man.
I heard somebody
It-
say, because I don't know when LeBron's gonna retire, but I heard somebody bring up a point of like KD would go there as soon as LeBron retired.
go where,
To
Like-
LA. Yeah.
man.
He would set up his, because LeBron does the whole sign one, play for one, whatever, where it's like you have control of like where your next year or whatever. I don't think personally it would be, because KD would be what? How old is he? Like 32, 33 right now? How old is he? Or is he older than that? He might be
33.
yeah, somewhere around
33,
there.
33.
So also too with James, if you're like, because I don't know how old James is, he's probably right around
32.
that age too. Yeah. So like they're all getting older. Like I think we kind of, because their games are going to age well, like because they both can shoot. So I think they still have more shelf life than someone like Russell or LeBron, because it's just eventually, the power game and the quick step is not going to be there.
True.
That's going to give them more years to do stuff. So I think with James, that's why it's like I can't see him. If I had to put money on, I wouldn't see him leaving Brooklyn. But it's like if this year goes to hell and Kyrie doesn't come back, like you say, you don't want to deal with Kyrie's nonsense. And like I say, I don't agree or disagree with what he wants to do. He's his own man. I agree with him being that. But Daryl Morey, you've had success with him. You was right there in Houston. He knows how to surround you with the best players. And now that you have a guy in Embiid down there, it could get scary real quick for the East if he gets with Embiid, because he's going to surround the shooters with him. And like Daryl, he gets the second round guys. He'll know what to do with that. So yeah, it's so many storylines this year with how if it plays out certain different type of ways, teams could get altered a lot. Which is just good for the NBA, because I think this year the conferences are pretty even in terms of just like depth. Like now, certain teams may be better in different conferences, but I just think there's more storylines this year with all the teams. Like every team has outside of like probably the Magic, San Antonio. At least the Magic have the Suggs. They have Suggs. So
I feel
And
bad
Cole.
for him, man. I feel bad for him. What a waste. What a
Him
waste.
and Cole.
He's gonna be rotting down there, man.
Jalen Green, rookie of the year.
Yeah,
And
Jalen Green rookie of the year.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. I think that's a good bet, because he's going to be putting up some points in Houston.
No. I got Cade Cunningham, and the reason is stop laughing, man. Detroit Pistons. That's an awful team, and Cade Cunningham will have the ball in his hand as the primary ball handler, primary scorer, and primary distributor. So he's going to be put up the best numbers, and he's
If
playing
he does
the East.
well.
No,
Yeah.
he will do well. Jalen Green will have to share the ball with Kevin Porter Jr., who's
True.
looking like a beast, man. KPJ, man, the
he's
Cleveland
actually really
Cavaliers. He got traded for a bag of Doritos, a second-round pick that's like top 50
They
protected,
should
man.
have kept him.
I don't know what the Cavs were
Yeah.
smoking, because for once, they nailed the draft pick, because I remember I wanted the Bulls to
That's
get him.
true.
And he went like in the late 20, I think it was like
Mhm.
29th overall. It was like a late first-round pick. And the guy has all the skills of being an elite guard. And I feel like he will be the number one guy down there. So Jalen Green will be more of a complimentary player. So
Mhm.
then Cade Cunningham be like, okay, I'm going to get my numbers, and I'm in the East. Boom. Rookie of the year, man. No question.
I think
in
it
my
comes
mind.
down between those two, though. I
Yeah,
think it's safe to
exactly.
say. Yeah,
It's gonna
you could pick
yeah.
whoever with those two.
'Cause who knows? KPJ could just, with those teams, man, the ball moves around so much too in the young
Mhm.
teams, unless there is a guy who really steps up. And I think KPG is the best player on their team right now, proven. But
Kevin
Cade,
Porter, man.
Yeah,
You don't believe in Cade?
no, I do. He is the best player on their team.
Mm-hmm.
And he will probably be able to fill up the stat sheet, because he's got Jeremy Grant, who's a legit
Right.
scorer. So if he gets the ball to him a lot, he'll be able to score. So Cade might have a fuller box score.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe we just did a mock box score. Like he could have 17, 8, and 4 or something like that.
LaMelo
And then,
Ball numbers, man. I think he can put up a LaMelo Ball.
Very
rookie of the year
similar.
numbers.
Yeah, they're
pretty similar.
Yeah. Lamelo's
He's
another
looking
guy that's gonna
nice,
take a
too.
huge jump. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
looking
a bona
nice.
fide guy. If he stays healthy, he's gonna be lifting Charlotte to some new heights. because
Lonzo, take some notes of your younger bro, man. That's what I expect from
That's
you.
not in his
True.
toolbox, man. It's not in his toolbox, man.
Nah.
He can shoot though. Lonzo's got that shot down. Like he's a way
He
better
Yeah,
shot
he's
shooter
looking
than
nice.
LaMelo.
He's looking
He's got a
nice.
shot
right
now.
Nice, man.
LaMelo, he ain't got that toolbox. LaMelo's got a
Did
little bit
shoot?
more.
Oh,
a little
Lonzo.
bit Yeah.
Oh,
He's really Lonzo has really made himself into a
legitimate NBA player to the fact that he, like you said, he has all-star potential. He just has to realize it. And he's got the teammates now to facilitate that.
Get those
I think in
assists,
New Orleans,
man.
he did have teammates, but I think it was a lot of Brandon Ingram.
No, they
his team is
Sam Van Gundy turned him into a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, and the coach was awful.
Exactly.
He got his ass fired, man. He's commentating for TNT now.
Yeah.
Back at it.
Yeah, I actually heard him on the broadcast. He didn't sound too bad. His voice is still kind of.
He's a better commentator than a coach.
Seems
Probably.
the Van Gundy brothers may share that.
He's too outdated, man. Too outdated. Too freaking outdated. Some players league, man. Get with the program. But yeah, there's say there's a couple other teams, like say in the East, the lower tier teams they have rookies, like say Suggs, Barnes, a couple other guys that you could see making impacts and probably doing well on the team, but they won't have the record. So it's gonna be cool to look out for a lot of that stuff. Like I said, we talked about Luka, all those guys. Really quick, we ran up around like 45 minutes. I guess you guys is MVP, most improved, things of that nature. Where could you see that going or trending towards right now? Like I said, I'm not gonna hold you guys to it because it's the first game of 82. Things happen, things change. We may have like a quarter session show where you may want to switch the picks. But Joe, I'm gonna start with you, man. What do you see in like the MVP, most improved, things of that nature with awards?
Luka Doncic, man.
Ooh,
Luka Doncic.
good,
I
man.
know he'll put up the numbers, man. I know he'll put up the numbers. Jason Kidd, that's the wild card because I thought he was an awful coach. I think he was a horrendous coach. But I feel like the way he'll use Luka Doncic and Kristaps, now, if he unlocks Kristaps Porzingis and makes him a bona fide number 2, I think the Mavs could win 50 games. And if they can win 50 games, that's the minimum threshold, I would say, number of wins to win MVP. So if you look at all the other contestants, LeBron ain't winning it. He got 80 and Russ. Like, I don't care how good LeBron is. His team is too stacked. Same thing in the Brooklyn boys up there. James Harden and Kevin Durant are way too good
Cancel
to win
each
MVP.
other out.
Exactly. They're going to cancel each other out. Giannis winning another MVP, that's a possibility. That is a possibility after dropping a 50-piece in the finals. It reawakened. Like, this dude got a jump shot, or he got a better-looking jump shot now. Actually, it looks like a jump shot now. So Giannis is also a serious contender. He's also in the East, which is weaker, so he'll be just beating up on them. And I know for sure the Bucks record is going to be good. So Giannis, I would say, probably should be the favorite out of my books. But I think it's between him and Luka Doncic.
I mean, you got my pick. I mean, mine's Giannis. I think he's going to go 3 for 4, man. 3 out of the last 4, as I mentioned earlier. That's some legendary stuff right there for me. But yeah, I mean, dude, look, he's, like you said, Zoo, in the East. I think that alone says something, right? All he has to really do is outlast the Nets. That's it. I mean, if let's just say Harden goes down or Durant, more injury prone, goes down, I mean, that just leaves them probably having a worse record. Usually it goes to the team with the best record, the best player, if it's pretty outstanding. I don't see the Mavs there, but Luke is so much of that guy that he's always going to be in contention. You could argue Jokic as well. With Jamal Murray still being out. I think he'll be there. Steph Curry. He'll always be up in there as well.
Steph Curry.
Don't forget about Steph. He'll be putting up numbers, man. He'll be putting... Dude. That was my number 2, was Steph Curry and then Doncic. But Steph Curry, look, if once again Klay doesn't come back fully, with his damn injuries, man, I feel so bad for him. I hope he can still spot up because that alone will just help boost their offense so much. Having him as a threat in the corner or, even running off screens, ridiculous. You can't do anything about it. Man's is shooting out of a phone booth half the time. But yeah, you got to give it to Steph, man. He's always going to be up in there. I'm going to give it to Giannis, obviously, but Steph is he's too damn good, man. I mean, he keeps his team in it.
He dropped 40 points in a preseason game, just chilling, man.
He's just chilling. I mean, it's so casual for him. He's figured out exactly where he needs to be on the basketball floor to score the most points. I think he's manipulated the game to his will, the most of any player we've seen since probably Michael Jordan. I think, LeBron, of course, is up there and he's just strong. I think, he doesn't get calls, right? But Steph Curry, man, the game warped so much to his ability. It's blowing my mind. It blows my mind every time. And watching him play, man, he's always going to be in contention. So Giannis for me, then Curry, and then Doncic, Zoo. But if they play well with Kristaps, Doncic is
That's
going to be
the
up
X
there
factor right
way higher.
Yeah,
But that's
it's the big X
huge,
factor.
big X factor.
Yeah, Steph Curry, man. He's gonna be put out. He better make playoffs this year, man. No, don't miss the play. Don't miss the playoffs because of the play. Especially to the Memphis Grizzlies, man. Everybody wanted to see Steph in the playoffs, but Ja Morant had to crash the party and do the D-Rose spin cycle floater in his face, man. So hopefully the Grizzlies.
It was a great moment. It was a great moment.
That move was incredible, and the way Ja celebrated, I was just like, fuck yeah, Ja. Let's fucking go, Ja. Keep the Warriors.
Yeah, I think Ja is done with the whole, because Memphis has always been that team. They had the years with Tony Allen, all those guys, where they were like kind of bothering the Warriors and all that stuff, but they really wasn't a threat. They just kind of bothered them. I feel like with Memphis, Ja is such a transcendent. I won't say transcendent, but he's getting towards. I'm saying transcendent, man. Like he's gonna, if Jaren Jackson Jr. is kind of like that, because he's a new age big. He's the
Kristaps of their team, man.
Yeah. He's injured. He's been injured last year, but he's also got that 3-point advantage, and he's okay in the post. So it's like I feel like they're a way more complete team than Dallas. So it's for me, I got the same. I got Luka and I got Steph because I think Clay's going to be coming back, but he won't come back till midseason. So Steph's going to have to do a lot of carrying. I know they got rookies.
He got to carry, man.
Still rookies. Wiseman, we don't know what he's going to be. Like Draymond's kind of, kind of out of there. Jordan Poole actually looked really good in preseason. He might be another guy that kind of surprises and gets
his second ball handler to relieve Steph Curry.
Yeah, so I think that's going to help Steph and unlock him a lot because Steph, like you said, he's out of all those guys that are in their 30s. I just feel like he's going to age so gracefully in the league because even though he's smaller, he just has such an automatic shot and is quick that he's going to always be in that conversation for the MVP.
Absolutely.
Luka, like I say, Kristaps has got to be the X factor, man. Like, if he can give them anything in the resemblance of being a guy who's 7, 3 or 4, being maybe some of a presence in the paint and having a decent shot.
Get some rebounds, man.
Yeah. That too. I know they got Dwight Powell, but yeah, he's got to help out on the boards a little bit. They actually, I think they paid him pretty decent too. I don't think he's like a rental guy, which is kind of funny for. That tells you, like, to me, Dwight Powell is going to spend money on your team. Like, that tells you, like, okay, get some more guys on my team that can actually play. But no shade to Dwight Powell. But
shade to Dwight Powell. The brother's making $11 million and can't do anything on the basketball court except hustle.
Who's his brother?
Who?
You said Dwight Powell's brother?
No, I said the brother Dwight Powell making $11 million.
I thought you said I was like, who's his brother making whatever?
He's a guy.
Yeah,
Norman.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if they're related? That'd be freaking hilarious. I think that is Luka's going to keep, because I think last year he kind of came in, he was kind of out of shape, so he didn't.
He was out of shape.
Yeah, man. He didn't have, because he had a lot of buzz last year with he's going to be MVP, and I think my third guy is Trey. I think if Atlanta wins, he's going to be a good guy that's going to make
He'll have the numbers for sure, man.
Because he's kind of built up his thing now. Like people in New York don't like him. He's kind of got this aura about him. And what he did in the playoffs, people knew who Trey was, but now people who don't follow the NBA know who he is. So he might get a couple of. He's probably going to be a huge all-star guy too. All-star.
Oh yeah, I think he'll be an all-star, probably starter now.
Because he has a little bit of that. He's not Steph, but he has that small guy thing. Like, I think a lot of guys who are guards.
Oh yeah, he's shorter than Steph. He's 6'2".
Yeah,
so he's even shorter than Steph, and he's skinnier. Like physically,
smaller.
He's like a lot weaker than Steph too. So he's more closer to the.
Steph's not a. People always talk about Steph being small, but like Steph's a big guard. Like he just looks small compared to like LeBron and KD, but no, he's a big guard. He's a huge guard. So like, those are probably my top 3, just with the MVP. Like you say, nobody on the Nets, nobody on the Lakers, because just cancel each other out. If I had to pick one from any of those teams, I'd probably pick Harden, just because he has the ball a lot more, assist and score. But I don't think any of those guys.
Yeah, I can't give an MVP to a dude that plays with KD, man. I'm just like, come on.
Yeah,
MVP.
If anything, KD gets that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Man.
So I think the NBA season, like I said earlier, is just going to have a lot of storylines, which is going to be good because the league is just always giving us stuff. We didn't even touch on Bradley Beal. I think he's happy in, Washington for now, but that's another trade piece that could go to potentially to Philly. And it wouldn't hit the same as like maybe a Dame or like a James, but that would be a nice little.
because I think Bradley
Daryl
Beal
Morey would be crying tears of joy if he put Ben Simmons for Bradley Beal,
Yeah.
a perennial all-star.
he would be crying.
Like,
tears
yo, are
of
you
joy.
kidding me? You give me a 30-point
shot.
score and they can shoot threes? Come on now. Come
Or
on.
Joel.
Mid-range assassin? Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal with Joel? Come on.
Just
Yeah,
have
there's
Mark
not a
Allen
lot of-
Giannis
there's a
as
lot
shooting
of-
coach.
There's a lot of players that have the ultimate fit with Joel. Just because Joel can shoot, he's like the only thing with Joel has been health. If he can stay healthy, he fits with everyone in the league.
Mhm.
So that's just like I say, all these storylines going on in the NBA. We'll talk about it as we go on. As you guys saw, we didn't really cover NFL a lot. It's still week 6. We kind of are still in the baby stages of the NFL, but they're starting to ratchet it up in terms of conference playing and divisions and things like that. Shout out to Derrick Henry. He's on a
Oh my
unbelievable.
Lord. A
He's
fucking
on
hat
an
trick, man.
unbelievable
On pace
unbelievable
for
pace.
27.
Crazy, man. Like
27
that
tutties.
one play where he just broke
Come
away. He
on.
looked crazy running out in open field.
Should have gotten stock.
Yeah,
for
Derrick
real.
Henry, man. I think next year he's going to
King
go
Henry.
number 1. He's going to go number 1
See,
next year.
Chris McCaffrey's not going number 1 anymore. He'll be lucky to go
Oh,
top 10.
my. Fuck that
Band-Aid.
guy.
Got put on that
dude.
IR.
Yeah, he's been on IR sport than he's been playing, man. Like, dude's a freaking RB0 right now. Give me 0 points every week.
I like him. I got
Chubb's
Chuba,
out
so-
again.
And I was just about I was just about to throw him on the wire because I needed a tight end. I was like, Then I think I got the report Friday or Saturday, and I was like, I like it. Give me 3 more weeks. Even though I had what's his face, Damian Williams for the Bears. All of a sudden,
Got COVID, man.
Yeah,
He
so
got
then I had to
COVID.
take
Khalil
him. I had to
Herbert.
put yeah.
Oh, man. I wish
Yeah,
I got
I think I
Khalil
would-
Herbert,
yeah,
man.
I
I
was
got
like,
0 shares of Khalil Herbert.
Maybe it's the Bears O line. Maybe they're just a good.
I don't know. Like, Khalil Herbert looked good, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if
They all
he's
look
good
good.
or the whole line's
All
got
three.
getting better. Like, what the heck, man? The dude got multiple rushing touchdowns.
Yeah,
They
he
can always run block, but they can't pass block to save their lives. But I'm not commenting on the Bears because Aaron Rodgers is our father.
Oh my lord!
I love how he tried to say.
that dude ran up and says he fucking owns you.
Oh, that was horrible, man.
I love how he tried to say.
Oh, Pat,
he
you
was
were smart, man.
blacked
I was,
out. That
I was
was
trying to get that bet in with you when the Bears were up 7-0. I'm like, maybe
not
Pat be
stupid.
like, the fucking Bears are going to win. I was like, let's get a bet in
I'm
before
not
that.
stupid. I'm not stupid.
You're up 7-0, man. I gave you 7 points.
Oh, well.
Aaron knew what he was doing.
Aaron being
Knew
Aaron.
what he was doing there. Yeah, he definitely knew. I wouldn't say premeditated, but he definitely kind of had that
It was
on that last drive. Like,
premeditated.
yeah, I'm gonna say that. Like, but I get it because he's been beating him. Like he's been beating up that whole division, so it's not really personalized. I feel like to the Bears, but that just happened to be who he did it against. But like I say, NFL's in its infant stages. It's starting to crank up. We're starting to get the teams and who's going to be doing whatever. So we will be talking about that more. We just had to get this NBA talk in because it's the opening night. Like I said, I think the Bucks just actually won their game, so they beat the Nets.
Oh yeah,
So
one
that's
more
pretty
thing, man.
interesting.
One more thing,
Yeah.
man. Who you guys has preseason? Who you got or regular season? Who you guys have champions, man? NBA champions. Who are the 2 teams and who's going to win it all?
I have the right to change my mind because everything in me wants to say after watching a little bit of this Bucks game, the Bucks look really good.
You picking the Bucks?
No, but they look really good. They look really good. I want to say the Nets just because I can't see a scenario where Harden and KD go out 2 years. That ain't how this is set up. It's just not. I mean, in every team that's gotten together like this super team, the second year's always been the year. Outside, I think maybe.
They're without Kyrie Irving, man.
I don't know, man.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
They
They're
almost
deep
beat
as
the
hell.
Bucks without a fully healthy Harden.
Yeah, and they drafted really well too. Cam Thomas
And Andy, can you name
They got a lot of
anybody
guys.
on their
Patty
bench?
Mills.
Anybody on their bench that did well in that series
Blake Griffin.
Right.
besides
did
Kevin
all right.
Durant?
Blake Griffin
No,
did all
it-
right,
yeah.
but-
Blake Griffin did okay.
I know Joe Harris was like the worst shooter ever in the playoffs.
Horrible.
I'm like, what the hell happened to Joe Harris, man?
I got the Nets, man. I got him
Yeah,
in
the-
6 against the Lakers.
Oh yeah, then that's 6. I'm going with the Lakers, man.
Okay.
The East, though, man. Not gonna lie, the East this year it's pretty hard to pick because
That's what I'm saying. That's the
the Brooklyn Nets with the injury stuff
But the
and
Bucks?
without Kyrie, the Milwaukee Bucks making back-to-back. That's just hard to do.
True.
So I feel like there might be a wild card this year in the East.
The Bulls.
I wish, man. I can't even make that prediction.
Nah, I think I do think it's the Miami Heat, if anything.
Miami Heat. But I feel like in the East is gonna be a wild card because I don't see the Bucks making a back-to-back or the Brooklyn Nets, man. I can't believe I'm saying it. Usually I go with the Stars, man. But I got the Lakers, though, man. That's all I know. I got the Lakers. This is their year, man. The Stars are aligning, man.
It's because Atlanta messed everybody up. It's because Atlanta making it to the conference finals made everybody think like, okay, the East is so wide open. But it really is. Like, it's not shot. Like, okay, if these teams, it's crazy we're on an hour, but I have to say this. Would it be crazy if Atlanta, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Miami, maybe throw Boston in there, make the finals? It wouldn't be crazy to say if any of those teams made the finals.
Boston, I would be, oh my Lord, man. Boston makes the finals. If Boston made it, that means Tatum is on like a top 2 player in the league type thing. But yeah, okay, just say those first 4 teams. It wouldn't be crazy to say if they made the finals. You'd be like, oh, they're in the finals. Oh, okay. No, I would say it would be crazy if the Atlanta Hawks made the finals. Because Trae Young's second best player is John Collins. Nice player.
I think it's committee.
Unless they make a trade.
Well, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Collins
they got some assets. They might be able to trade some of their dudes to get a bona fide. They need a bona fide wing to pair up with Trae Young.
Bradley Beal.
I would say more. I don't know if there's a small
John.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they would have to trade a lot of players. Just trade all the young guys, man. I feel like to trade all your young dudes, man. Give Trae Young a secondary.
That'd be nasty.
Mm-hmm.
If they somehow kept DeAndre Hunter and had those 3, because now you got a defensive wing that's going to lock up whoever. Then you got 2 potential 30-point scorers.
Yeah,
that would be. And then you're going to have probably. I mean, I don't think you'd have to give up Capella, but he's a good defensive roll to the rim guy.
Capella fits perfect.
Maybe if they trade him to Washington in that deal, they get Daniel Gafford.
Daniel Gafford got the bag too, man.
For contract only.
I would really be picking the Hawks. If they somehow got Gafford along with Beal, with Trae and all them, hey, I'm definitely picking the Hawks.
Oh my Lord!
Everything else I said goes out the window. I don't care MVP, whatever. Everything goes out the window if that happens. I'm telling you right now. Let me stop. But yeah, like I said, we talked about the NBA today, bunch of stuff. We'll be getting back to the NFL. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube page or Instagram page. YouTube page, like I say, for all you guys that don't really watch a live show as much, we get the live show up, so it's available. Podcast comes up a little bit later, so if you guys are more into the visuals, you can check that up as soon as we get done with this today on the pod. And make sure you guys subscribe to Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor. Listen to it on there. On Anchor, you can listen to it actually on the actual app, the website itself. So that's pretty cool. And for me, Zoo and P. Bush, we're out.